So, I this is my whole thing. When I do reviews, although there might be certain people that I do not like and I can't stand, I am always willing and ready to be honest and say when somebody is right. I tell y'all that all the time. I don't care who you are, mama, daddy, grandma, aunt, sister. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right, no matter how I feel about you. And except for the last 10 minutes of this damn episode, Chris, I was actually on your side. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed that I was on your side. I was really mad that these white people were making me be on your side. But you wanna know what? I give credit when credit is due. Except the last 10 minutes of this show, Chris, I was pretty much damn near with you the whole way. I really was. Bitches surprised me. So let's fucking get to it. Okay, so I got my notes up for the last thing. Hold on, y'all. So my notes. Okay, so the way I'm gonna review the show is gonna be a little bit all over the place. Normally I would do couple by couple, but because it was such a intermingling of the couples this episode, I really couldn't do that. So just work with me, y'all. All right. So look. So we got the girls having a night and the boys having a night. Sorry, okay, I forgot. I got to the episode maybe like 5 or 6 minutes late because I was watching something else. But I think the conversation I came in on was with Claire and Ryan, and I think he was telling her that he had never fell in love before, and that was like really worrisome to her. That's pretty much where I came in. So anyway, so then we have the boys and the girls having their own night. So the boys are doing craps, and I don't remember what the girls were doing. Maybe they were drinking wine. I don't know. They were chilling together. So let's go through the boys. Okay, so you know how they all go down the line and ask how everybody's doing. So Vincent said that they are all good. The only thing is just that she's a little bit bossy, which we'll touch on in a minute. Then Bree says that, pretty much they're all good. He is all that she could have asked for. Then we got Eric, who was very happy. Eric was drunk. And this is what confuses me about it. Like, Eric, for you to be on Virginia's ass, I don't really know how to feel about it. Because it seems like Eric be on Virginia's ass about her being a party girl. But since you've been in Vegas, and I'm trying to give you a pass because it is Vegas, you've been drunk the whole time that you've been here. You and your wife. You and your sloppy drunk ass wife. Eric was so fucking drunk, he was falling asleep at the table. Everybody was like, "Are you okay?" Chris is like, "You good? You good?" He's like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine." Why? He's like, "Cause you seem a little lit, a little tipsy right now." No, 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 no. That's how you know he was drunk. That's how you know he was drunk. And then we get to Virginia. Virginia says that the age difference between them is a little bit probably going to be a problem, and how she's not conservative and she's for like gay marriage, and her sister's gay, but he's not really like that. And then it shows a flashback of earlier that morning, her talking to Claire, and she was crying because, the conversation they had about, her being friends with guys and how he's not really for that. So Eric thinks they're all good, but Virginia is a little bit concerned. Jake said that he just has to get used to being around people as far as like her friends and stuff, because she's a little bit more outgoing than he is. And Haley, like she said multiple times throughout this damn thing, Haley get on my damn nerve. By the end of this episode, Haley done pissed me the hell off. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm just so used to being independent and by myself, and so it's hard for me to be around somebody." And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But then don't come on a show like Married at First Sight if you're not willing to let those walls down. I ain't saying it's going to be easy, but you're not in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. You are in a marriage. And maybe this is why you've never been married, Haley. Maybe this is why you always have been a bridesmaid. Maybe. Maybe why? Maybe this is why. So then we go to Ryan. Ryan said that they're good. It's just that he's not as outspoken as Clara is. And Clara said that they're good too, but she's just a little bit worried about him never being in love before. When they talk about sex, Ryan says no. Eric said no. Bree said they have. Of course, we found that out last week. Clara said that they have had sex, but he didn't want anybody to know. So I said that's funny. And then Virginia said, yeah, they have. And Haley, I think Haley did too. She just didn't. When they asked Jake about them having sex, he said, "Well, like that's her business. Whenever she's ready to tell," which means they did. And then Haley said, "I mean, yeah, we did have sex the other night. I mean, we were drinking." I hate when people try to make excuses like, "Oh, I mean, we were drinking." No, you fucked that man because you wanted to. So cut the shit. Then we get on to Chris, right? Because we didn't talk about Chris. So Chris pretty much, says he's fully invested into the whole situation with her, and that's his wife, and he's gonna put her first, and she's what matters, and all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. So then Eric and his drunk ass, he's like, well, you need the you know how people drunk. See, no, you need to man up, and see, she's here for you, okay? And so if she's here for you, that means you gotta be here for her. That was Eric. That was Eric pretty much. And Chris is like, what, like, man up, like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, I told her what it is I needed to tell her. I did feel like Chris in that moment was being a little bit too sensitive, but at the same time, Eric is annoying as hell, and he was drunk, so I can understand being annoyed by that whole situation. Let's see, what we got next? So then we have Haley and Jake, okay? And she talks about how she pretty much is not like really used to announcing about where she's going, because she's having a conversation with him, and she's like, I'm just trying to get used to not being single, and I've been single for such a long time, and I'm used to just getting up and doing whatever it is that I want to do, not having to check in with somebody, which I understand that as being a single person, but you're not single anymore, so that's not how this works anymore. And for you to be a bridesmaid as in many weddings as you have, and you being friends with as many married people as you like are, then you should understand that at this point. When you're married, no, you do not just pick the fuck up and leave and not say anything. That's not how this works. That's not how a partnership works. And if you feel like you don't want to have to explain anything to anybody, then you don't need to be in a marriage. It's just that simple. If that's how you truly feel, if you truly feel like you shouldn't have to ask anybody for any type of, I don't even want to say permission, but you shouldn't be sensitive or what's the word I'm looking for? You shouldn't be, I don't know, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Like, if you feel like you don't have to check in with nobody, then don't be married. It's just that simple, Haley. It's literally just that simple. And again, I don't understand how you're friends with that many people and you've been in so many weddings and so many bridesmaids, but you don't understand that point yet. Makes no sense to me. Then he pretty much says that he wants to know how comfortable she is with intimacy and stuff, because she's like she's been a lot more reserved since they've had sex. Now I feel like the reason why she's pulled back now is because she probably had sex with him and then realized, like, oh shit, I really just had sex with this man that I probably really don't even know. Like, I just kind of met him a couple days ago, and that probably is what pulled her back. That's just my opinion. And so yeah, so that's them. Then we got Paige and Chris, and he's talking to her and he's thanking her for how she's handling the whole situation, and he's worried about they're both worried. They're talking about what happens when they go back to Atlanta. And he said, she's like, well, I can't wait to introduce you to my dog and stuff. And he was like, he ain't gonna tear up my shoes or none of my stuff like that, is he? And she was like, no, but we both gonna be there, we gonna make sure that he's okay. And she was like, he said, no, you're gonna take care of him. Like I'm not gonna do any of that. Like, I'm not gonna take care of him at all. And it's just like, so let me get this straight. So you expect her to be a stepmom to your bastard child. Yes, I said bastard child because it's a fact. But you won't help her with her damn dog? I wish y'all could see me blinking. Miss me with the shit, Chris. Miss me with the shit. Then, he asked, he said, well, how do you feel, about joint accounts? And she's like, well, I make like a third of pretty much what it is that you make. And he was like, a quarter. Okay, he's so full of himself. And she was like, well, I feel like we should have a joint account as far as bills is concerned, but everything outside of that, we can kind of do what we want to do. I think that that's a good idea. I do think that as far as bills and stuff, a joint account probably should be had, so that, look, like she said, although you make way more than me, of course I'm going to put in. So I think we should have a joint account so that we can both put in money for the bills, and then whatever else, we can do separately. He says, I don't believe in joint accounts. I'm going to make sure that you're good, but you do you and I do me. The reason I'm not going to judge him too harshly is because everybody's different when it comes to that. Not everybody, like me and my boyfriend, we don't have a joint bank account, but that's just because we never really thought of doing that until recently. But I think everybody is different on that, and I'm not really here to judge people on that aspect, because what's comfortable with you and finances and that part I'm not gonna judge him on. I think that's to each his own, and I don't think that anybody should be judged too harshly on how to deal with that. That's Everybody's different when it comes to money or how they want to handle it. Then we go to Virginia and Erica. I said Erica. Virginia and Eric. And again, they're talking about her and how she will be going out and stuff like that. And I think Clara had told her before, like, well, just kind of explain to him that you want him to be part of your life and you want to find a way for you guys to kind of come to a common ground about this. So that's what she was doing. She was kind of pretty much trying to explain to him, hey, like, I want you to chill with me and my friends. I want you to do this. And he's like, well, like, that's not where I'm at in my life anymore. Like, I'm a pilot. I fly the majority of the time, and when I'm not flying, I kind of just want to chill or whatever. And so then he starts going off. They're talking, but then I don't know, he just got a little bit too aggressive for me personally. Like, like, you need to understand that you're with me now, okay? You're with me. You're not single anymore. You are no longer single. You have a husband now. And then she's like, I get that, because I think she even said to him, like, well, I'm always going to come home to you, you know what I mean? And he just, I don't know, he give me very jealous type. Very, 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 very jealous type. So then we got Bree and Vincent, my faves. And I didn't really catch what happened the night before, because again, I was cooking, but I know something about him saying that she was being way too bossy, and he told her that in bed, and then she told him, well, you kind of annoyed me today. And then they kind of both went to bed a little bit upset. That's like the first little hump that they've had so far with each other. But they did tell you in her vows, like her friends and family said that she's bossy as fuck. So then they end up going indoors skydiving, and she ends up telling him that she was upset because of what he said about her rushing him, but at the same time, she understands that she can come off bossy and she's willing to change that. Like, she don't want to be a bossy person. She don't want to come off like she's bossy, especially to her husband. So I appreciate how she acknowledged that, and she said that she's willing to change that. So shout out to Brie. Then we get on to the fuck shit, y'all. Okay. Y'all gotta work with me, y'all, because my throat is really hurting. I've been doing videos like back to back to back, and I'm like not feeling too well. Hold on. So, okay. Clara, Ryan, Paige, Chris, Eric, Virginia. So all three of the couples, they go on like an ATV, because I forgot Jake and Haley, they was doing something else. I don't even remember what they was doing, but they was doing something else. Okay, so they do their whole little ATV little situation, right? Okay, so then we got Clara, Virginia, and Chris. It's them three talking, right? And so Clara and Virginia are pretty much like, well, we know that Paige, clearly she's unhappy, she's not the same girl, from a couple weeks ago. She doesn't seem as happy. She doesn't seem as bubbly. So they're pretty much talking to Chris, and, they're just like, well, we just, want to make sure that everything's okay with her. And, like, are you making sure that she's okay? They pretty much were like questioning him about the way that he was treating Paige and feeling like he should do this, that, and the third to make her feel better, or whatever the case may be. So he started to get upset, and he said that he was kind of tired of the fake concern from everybody, specifically from Virginia and Eric. Okay, so this is how I feel about that part in particular. Okay. Chris is entitled to have his opinion as far as that. I don't think it was necessary for him to say that he felt like their concern was fake. I think he should have stuck with what he originally said, which is, I hear y'all, but it's none of y'all business, which he ended up did saying after that part. He did say, because Virginia was like, well, I'm not being fake at all. I'm not being fake at all. And Virginia says, well, I don't feel like you've been going above and beyond to pretty much make Paige, feel good or whatever. Pause right there. Because Chris said to her at that point, he said, well, you don't really know what it is that I've done. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I piece it together. Okay. She said to him, I don't feel like you've gone above and beyond to do anything for Paige to make her feel good. And then he said, well, you don't know what it is that I do for my wife. Like, I told her, that I had this baby and everything coming on the way. And Virginia said, and that's what's going above and beyond, is telling her that you're having a kid with somebody else. Let's pause that conversation right there and let me dissect that real fast. Okay. I agree with Chris when he said to her, "You don't know what I've done for my wife behind closed doors. All you see is us here and there. You don't know the conversations that I've had with her. You don't know what I've done to make her feel, better about the situation, and you don't know that I've gone above and beyond." I do agree with that because Virginia, you don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. You only see them every now and again. You have no idea what their dynamic is like. However, I do think that it's bullshit, Chris, for you to say that the way you went above and beyond for Paige is by telling her. Nigga, you had no choice but to fucking tell her that you was having another baby. What did you think? You think she's never gonna find out? So, you see, I can see it from both sides on that. So then I forgot what she called him. But she called him something, and then he said, "Okay, well, I think that you're drunk or whatever, and you need to mind your business. Like, I think you and your husband, I think y'all both drunks," which he is correct. He's absolutely right about that. And he was like, and at the end of the day, I think you need to mind your business. You need to mind your business. And this is where I agree. And then this is when it kind of like took off, and then him and Virginia's just kind of going back and forth. Clara was kind of in the middle, but not really as much as him and Virginia was. And Clara made a good point. She was like, I don't understand why Virginia would keep pushing the subject. Like, he said he didn't want to talk about it, and you could already tell that he's kind of aggravated. So why would you continuously poke an angry bear? That is the part that I do agree with. And then um so then they go to speak with Paige. Actually, I'll just say what I need to say right now about that. So yeah, so I do agree with Clara wholeheartedly. That man told you in that moment that he felt like you need to mind your business and stop asking him about the inner workings between him and his wife. And I do think that once he said that, Virginia, you should have let it go. But you and your husband want to keep putting y'all 2 cents in when it comes to this whole situation with Chris and Paige. When he has told you multiple times to leave it alone, it's a sensitive situation, just let it go. And my thing is, you have seen how temperamental a little bit Chris is at this point in time. So why, like Claire said, why keep poking somebody over and over and over again? Okay, so you're concerned. This is how I look at it, and this is including Claire too. I understand that this is Married at First Sight, and I understand that on Married at First Sight, the couples, they interact and they kind of talk to each other about things. But I'm looking at it from a regular person's point of view. If I am friends with somebody and they're having trouble within a relationship or their marriage, I don't think that it's appropriate for you to go to your friend's man and talk to him about it. I don't think that that's appropriate at all. If y'all want to be there for Paige, be there for Paige. And that's including Claire. Both of y'all, just be there for Paige. And I do agree. I understand when Chris was like, y'all are not the guys. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and talk to y'all about this. I don't want to talk to y'all about this. That's understandable. And so I felt like if y'all really wanted to be good friends with her, good friends to her, don't go to her man and try to check her man about what he's doing or what he's not doing. That's not y'all place. Like, y'all not her daddy. Y'all not her mama. Or y'all not nobody like that. Y'all are people that she just met, barely really friends with her. So go support her, but don't go and try to check her nigga. That's just how I kind of look at that. So then they end up going over. I gotta see how much time I have. Okay, so they end up going over because I think Eric had came over. When they was arguing back and forth, and then he starts going in on Eric a little bit, like, like, it's both of y'all. Both of y'all have ran y'all mouth, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just fucking tired of it. And I had to agree. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I was agreeing with Chris. But Eric and Virginia, drunk ass, they have been saying itty bitty shit that's unnecessary. Now, I wouldn't have felt so offended by the whole comment of, oh, well, is it your child? I wouldn't have felt so offended by that, but I can see why he was. And in general, y'all just need to mind your own damn business. Because my thing is, Bree and Vincent, as far as I'm concerned, is the closest to Chris and Paige. And they don't even get in their business the way the rest of y'all have. You get what I'm saying? Like, mind y'all business. So then they all go over to go and speak with Paige, because Paige is just like in the corner by herself looking at the sea like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And they're all talking to her, whatever, about it. And at this point, like I said, so everybody leaves Chris and where he's standing and goes over to Paige. So then Chris makes his way over, and he was like, I don't understand why y'all still talking about it. And they're like, well, we're not talking to you. And Virginia's like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Paige. And he's like, well, you're talking to my wife about our situation that I just told you I don't want y'all talking about. I can understand that. And so she, she's like, we just want to be friends with you. I don't know why the hell Clara was crying. I don't even understand why Claire was crying, because there was nothing for you to cry about. Then they all, end up, he's like, all right, so they pretty much going home. Now, I do think that he was acting like a fucking child when he said in his confessional, oh, y'all gonna be able to say all of that? Well, I'm about to make this ride back to the place of living hell. Now that's being childish. That's exactly what Brandon did. That is copy and paste what Brandon did 2 seasons ago. You're doing the same stupid ass shit. You could have just sat your ass in that van and not said nothing, but you got in that van and you started da 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 da. And my main problem with that whole situation with Chris in the van, and I'm talking about specifically in the van, is why are you going back and forth with a woman? I have a really big problem when men go back and forth with women. Now, again, before when it was at the car, that's one thing, right? Fine, because everybody was having a conversation. But in that situation in the van, there was no point in you going back and forth with her. You could have shut your mouth. You said what you said. Everybody got in the car. Nobody was saying anything else. You purposely was going in for no reason. I won't say for no reason, but you was purposely going in. You could have just sat there and not said shit at all. That's how I look at it. So then it's time for dinner, okay? And oh damn, I got a lot to fucking talk about. So I gotta kind of rush through this, y'all. So then they get to the dinner, okay? And when they get to the dinner, everybody gets there on time and is talking except Virginia and Erica. Similar to how night one, when everybody was chilling, they came late, drunk as hell, right? Okay. So when they get there, Paige apologizes, because now mind you, Bree, Vincent, Jake, and Haley, they weren't there. So the only people that was there was Claire and Ryan, and Paige and Chris is there. So Paige, of course, apologizes to everybody. She said that she appreciates everybody trying to look after her. She really do. She appreciated it. Then Chris jumps in and Chris is like, hey, he wants to apologize. He apologized, number one, to her for everything that he put her through. He apologized for embarrassing her. He apologized for putting her in a situation that she was, right? He apologized to her publicly. Then he said that he apologized to Clara and Ryan. He said he should have never talked to Clara like that. It was out of pocket. It was wrong. He should have never did that. And then he apologized to Ryan for disrespecting his wife because that's not what he meant to do. He was sorry about that. He then also talked about how he had called his grandma or something like that to pray for him. And she was like, well, you got a wife, so you need to talk to her. So then he went to Paige and Paige prayed over him and how he felt better or whatever the case may be, right? So then Virginia and Eric, they come in late, right? Now, mind you, they come in late like they did last time. If y'all would stop being alcoholics and come to events on time, maybe y'all wouldn't like be able to cause so much drama, because it's because y'all came in late last time that all of that started. And now y'all coming in late this time and now all of this started. So as soon as Eric sits down, right, he's like, okay, well, I just want to make some boundaries clear real fast with you, Chris. Like, you're not going to talk to my wife like that. Pause right there on that part. I can respect that. I can respect, as a man and as a husband, you checking another man and being like, the way you was talking to my wife crazy, right or wrong, and I'm talking about from his perspective, right or wrong, you're not about to talk to my wife like that. I get it, right? But Ryan tried to save it because he jumped in. He said, wait, because Chris started moving shit out the way. He said, wait. Before you go any further, I want to say that he did just apologize. So I don't want you to come in here all hostile when he did just apologize. And, maybe that's the direction that he was going to go. Aaron don't give a fuck. He starts, still going off, well, you're not going to talk to her, da da da. So Chris says to him, he said, all right, look, this is my whole thing. I have asked you and your wife multiple times, which is true, to please give me and my wife privacy when it comes to the situation. However, every single time I turn around, you're making little jokes here and there. You're making little innuendos. You're trying to come for me. You're trying to ask me questions when I asked you specifically to not bring it up. And then he said, Virginia in particular, multiple times has done that when I asked her not to. And it was just like, what? See, maybe if you wasn't taking as many shots, you would probably remember. But because you're so damn drunk all the time, you probably don't even remember that you have been picking at this whole situation when you need to mind your business. I couldn't believe I was agreeing with Chris, but he's right. Both of y'all need to put the alcohol down. Let's start with that. Start coming to events on time. Okay, if the casting call, she say 7 o'clock, bitch, it's 7 o'clock, not 7:30, not 8 o'clock. Come on time. And thirdly, your wife was wrong. Your wife was the one being all up in their business. And like I said, it doesn't make sense to me that out of everybody in this group, although Bree is closest to Paige, Virginia, you're the one who feel like you got a lot to say. Eric, you feel like you got a lot to say. Why? Mind your fucking business. So I agree with Chris when he said that. So then, Eric start going off or whatever the case may be, and then Chris gets up and he's like, well, what you want to do? What you want to do? So then Vincent ends up pushing, you know, Chris out of the place or whatever, and you know, they going around, they're walking around, and Clara pretty much said the same thing that I said. Clara was like, I mean, I think that Virginia started the whole situation. Like, she started it. Like, y'all both came in. Because I forgot when Virginia came in, she said something about taking shots. And she was like, that was a shot at Chris. And you didn't have to come in like that. So she said that. Bree and Vincent said that Eric and Virginia, they both came in way too fucking hard and needed to mind their own business. Everybody was on the same page. Like, y'all came in and y'all did the most. So then we get to after that same night, and Ryan and Clara are talking about what happened. And Ryan, in the nicest way, pretty much told Clara that is, in his opinion, that she needs to shut her mouth. Like, yes, you can have opinions about, and I think he was referring to the whole situation they have earlier that day. Like, yes, you can have your opinions on what you think about their relationship, but you don't have to always voice it. Like, I have my opinions probably about what they're going through, but I'm not gonna go around and say it because you're pretty much starting shit for no reason and you're getting yourself involved in shit that you don't need to. So in the nicest way, he told her, you need to shut your mouth sometimes. And I said, I'm sorry, but I agree. Then we go over to Haley and Jake. And apparently she told Jake that there's something that's missing. But he said, well, what's missing? Oh, I don't know. So he's like, well, I don't really know how to help you if you're not going to tell me what's missing. And again, I'm not really used to being around anybody. And it's just really weird for me. And da 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 da. And he's like, okay, well, the first couple days, we were cool. Now all of a sudden we're not cool. She was like, well, that's because I was just kind of going along with what it was that I felt like I had to do. And Jake made a good point. He said, one of the doctors told him, like, don't go into this trying to be friends because it's gonna end badly. We are married. We're married. And my thing is, I feel like this. Haley, if you're not attracted to Jake, if that's what it is, if you're just not attracted to him, say that and leave that man alone. Get that normal so he can go about his way because you're wasting his time and you're getting on my nerves in the meantime. So then we switch over the next morning to Virginia and Eric, and of course they're all, we didn't do anything, and he's just so upset and he's just so mad for no reason. But guess what? Virginia said the absolute fucking truth, which is what she needs to pay attention to. She said, well, I mean, with all of the drama going on, we're probably kind of glossing over our problems. That's the issue right there. Y'all two got enough going on to be worried about what everybody else is doing. How about y'all be concerned about what y'all got going on? Don't be so concerned about everybody else. And I think Ryan made a good point. Like, if somebody comes to you and they need help, that's fine, that's one thing. But don't be going out your way to, like, try to start stuff and stir. It's unnecessary, because that's all Eric and Virginia did. Y'all stirred the pot. Y'all stirred the fucking pot when y'all need to be concerned about y'all. Then pretty much the honeymoon is over, and Haley pissed me off because apparently Haley told Jake the night before that she was gonna have a girls' night out. He said, that's fine by me, girl, go have fun. He goes downstairs to go and see food, and he sees all of the couples, so all of the girls with their husbands, and then just Haley. And he said, and then they just kind of all like darted. So you lied. And he said, because she really didn't want me around. See that, and like he said, that's the type of shit that I don't fucking like. All of that lying on purpose type of shit, that's some shit that we not gonna be able to do. And if I was him, I would have been pissed too, and I would have cursed her the fuck out. I would have been like, bro, when we go back, you can do your thing and I can do my thing, because clearly this is not gonna work. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. And again, that's probably why you've only been a bridesmaid, Haley. That's probably why, right the fuck there. Why would you think that that's okay to do? That is so embarrassing. What the fuck is her problem? Then we go to Paige and Chris, and this is, like I said, I got a minute for this, but this is where you lost me, Chris. You told Paige pretty much that you have had conversations with your baby mom about y'all possibly getting back together, but then you want to sit up there and talk to Paige and try to make it seem like she ain't got no reason to be mad. Have you lost your black ass mind? Like she said, that's why it makes it seem like everything you said previous to that was full of shit. Oh, you my wife and you come first, but you're having conversations with your baby mom about getting back together. That's not the conversations that y'all should be having if your wife comes first. The conversation needs to be, what's the schedule going to be like? What's the visitation going to look like? What's the money going to look like? That's all that should be talked about. Now, oh, we're going to possibly get back together, because if that's what you're possibly thinking about, leave me the fuck alone. And I really hope next week when I hope it's Paige on the one going off and not the ex-fiance, because it sounds like it's the ex-fiance on the voicemail going off, but I will hope it's Paige and saying, fuck him. I ain't ain't got no more time to talk about this, y'all. Chris, I was with you, Chris. All the way into the end, I was with you, Chris. I was with you. Because you was right.